Hey folks, so you've been to your dermatologist and they've told you that you have seborrheic dermatitis, and I wanted to make a specific video on this because I've had a few questions about it. What is it? Is it even eczema? Is it psoriasis? Is it dermatitis? What's going on? One of the types of eczema that I had was something that I now understand to be seborrheic dermatitis, but at the time I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that it was anything other than the normal type of eczema, and as you know if you've watched my other videos, the root cause isn't any different to just eczema or psoriasis or other forms of dermatitis like dyshidrotic dermatitis and things like that. But now there are these terms being thrown around a lot more on the internet, so I wanted to get into the individuals, specifically seborrheic dermatitis. The most common type of eczema is atopic dermatitis, what dermatologists and doctors refer to as atopic dermatitis, and it's found on the hands and the face and also in the creases of the body. It's kind of red, itchy, flaky, dry skin that is sometimes quite passive. It's sometimes quite passive. People don't always feel the need to do anything about it. But if you've got seborrheic dermatitis, you really want to do something about your condition, because it's more chronic, and quite often it comes with a discharge, like a yellow or white sort of a discharge, and it's just more angry looking. Doesn't always itch, but it comes to the more oily areas of the body, like around the T-zone and the chest, and areas that can be more oily and just naturally have more of generally more of an area where your body tends to release toxins. It's completely possible to have 2 or 3 different types of eczema at the same time. I had seborrheic dermatitis on my face and atopic dermatitis on the rest of my body, hands and sorry, not my hands, no, my shins and my arms and elbows and those areas. And it doesn't really matter what the specific name of your skin condition is. The key point is that your body is expressing a toxic state and an imbalance, and that's the way it's choosing to do it. Regardless of the type of disease you have in general, actually, your body is just... What your genetics decide is how your body is going to express itself, how your body is going to detoxify itself. That's primarily what your genetics decide. But you still need to be in a toxic state, an imbalanced state of some description, in order to have one of these diseases. Here in the UK and in other westernized countries, the standard way to treat seborrheic dermatitis is to slather the body in some kind of topical treatment, ointment, emollient, whatever. If you're really unlucky, you'll end up with steroids, and you'll go down the whole steroid rabbit hole. And if you come to this video at that point, somewhere down that pathway of using steroids, you've probably got a lot of detoxification work ahead of you. But fear not, it can be done. You can get through TSW. There's plenty of help on the internet and support for you to be able to go through this, come out the other side, and just start to naturally detoxify your body and get it back into balance. And that's the purpose of these videos in general. It's so strange though that we've made all of these advances in the medical industry. We've applied so much money into the medical industry, and yet we're still treating eczema and psoriasis and dermatitis and these things with topical treatments, topical ointments. We're so far from looking at the root cause of these things in the medical world. I feel like, I mean, I may be biased because, you know, it's my disease, but I feel like of all diseases, eczema and psoriasis and dermatitis and these things seem to have so little digging done by the medical industry. They're not looking deep into the root cause at all, compared to the work that they've done on things like cancer and heart disease and these other things. Perhaps it's understandable because those things are more life-threatening. Most high authority sources will cite the cause of seborrheic dermatitis as unknown. They don't even know what causes it, yet they're willing to give you steroids or some other type of treatment for it, which in my opinion is completely just nonsensical, because how can you treat something unless you're citing what you believe the cause is? And so this is a big thrust of what I try to get people to think about, is what do you really believe is the cause of your disease? How do you think you've got here, and how now do you want to set about reversing that process? And that's why the things that I promote take a long time, because people have to educate themselves and research and think about how their body's gotten to this state in order to be able to do something about it. And that's why the process of reversal can take a long time too, because it's taken years to get to the place of disease in the first place. Following my own experiences and the experiences I've had coaching others, I'm 100% convinced that seborrheic dermatitis can be addressed with lifestyle choices. Your genetics load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So get a copy of my ebook, The Complete Guide to Healing Eczema, which shows you exactly what you need to do to start to address this from the inside out. If you don't want to pay for anything, start by watching this playlist here on YouTube. I've got over 100 videos showing you how to address eczema using lifestyle choices. And go to this video here of my friend Jonathan, who coached with me and healed his seborrheic dermatitis. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.